Now, the Senate has called on the executive to send to it recommendations of the 2014 National Conference for consideration. The National Assembly says this is needed to allow lawmakers legislate solutions to agitations coming from different sections of the country. Now, for more views on this, let's now talk to human rights activist Wale Okunniyi in the studio here with us. Thank you very much indeed for coming.
It is my pleasure to be with you again.
Right. The Senate has just asked the executive to transmit to it the recommendations of the 2014 National Conference for consideration. I want you to give us your thought, first of all, on this.
That's obviously a welcome development. Particularly, it's very timely and auspicious, given the growing and heightening tension of ethnic divisions in our country. It's timely. That's my take on that. It's timely. It will douse tension. It will engage stakeholders, etc. And then there will be confidence building. I mean, that's the first line of action. That's the first step for me.
All right, but do you have faith that anything positive would be achieved after the Senate gets a copy of the recommendations from the executive? I'm asking this so that it doesn't become an academic approach at the end of the day, because some of the recommendations that are quite sensitive.
Yeah, for me, where there is a will, there is a way. I guess that the Senate will have a will in this matter, a will to proceed further to deal with the very foundation of our union. Because I was in a way part of that conference, I attended it, I was there, and I know that the resolutions and recommendations are far-reaching. Some are tailored towards policy trust, but some are really constitutional. There are some that you cannot deal with except you have a referendum, either direct or indirect referendum. But for the ones that are policy inclined, the Senate can immediately deal with that. But I would also love that some of them that are very fundamental constitutionally are dealt with. And part of what I think the Senate will have to do here in dealing with those that has to do with our constitutional foundation is that we have to amend Section 8 and Section 9 to allow the Nigerian people for the first time to give unto themselves a constitution because that doesn't exist now. And a constitution is not given by government or any government arm. Conventionally, no constitution. What we have to, that is why some of us are scholars. We say what you have today is not a constitution or a constitution of the people. So it will mean that the Nigerian Senate or the National Assembly we still have to amend Section 8 and Section 9 of 9 to allow Nigerian people to give unto themselves because as it stands today under our constitution, there is nowhere for them except for recall of members. There is nowhere where the people can exercise sovereignty.
And even that is quite difficult.
All right. And that's a problem.
All right. Now let's try and read into some of the solutions you think that they might come up with. Let me put it directly now. What kind of solutions do you think that they are likely to be looking at? Put it into consideration the agitations coming from the different sections. Some of them saying they want to go away, they want to be on their own, separating from the country. Now, what kind of solution do you think that the Senate is going to be looking at here?
Well, for me, I think that what will be desirable is for them to begin to look, well, first and foremost, if they're able to amend Section 8 and 7, which is a quagmire. If they don't, they won't get to what I think is solution, which is to imbue in our constitution self-determination principles. In which case, the federating units can be autonomous to deal with their own issues as they want and then have their own constitution, as it was done in the First Republic. In that case, you have a proper federalism or democratic federalism in which the federating unit will have to determine how they federate and agree, constitutionally. So I think that will be far-reaching. That will be very crucial for them to do, to try as much as possible to return back sovereignty over the constitution to the people. As it stands today, the Nigerian people does not have sovereignty over their constitution. That has been taken away by those that are appointed into government by the constitution that we have, and which is a military constitution.
Let me come in here. That was why I asked that question earlier on, that some of the recommendations are quite sensitive. And of course, with the crop of politicians we have in Nigeria right now and the lawmakers at the federal level, you think Nigerians will be, or you as a Nigerian now, will be hopeful enough that these people would want to do this one for the country, knowing that they would practically be powerless if they allow that?
Well, necessity is the mother of invention. And that is why you always have doctrine of necessity. If they see that they are going to be consumed and there will be no nation to govern anymore or to ride roughshod over, they may be forced to say, look, survivor, can we survive? Can we even survive? So, and I think that it is the existential condition of man that determines what you do. And I think the way we are today, the Senate may, or the National Assembly may have to go, they may have to do a far-reaching, exercise in this case. I want to believe, because they also, it's staring them in the face that they may not have a Nigeria to govern, the way this thing are getting out of hand. And we have predicted this. This is not an alarm. Since 2005.
America predicted it, even the former president of Libya
did. And we have predicted that we may have to do something about the structure of Nigeria so that it doesn't blow up in our face.
All right, then human rights activist Wale Okunniyi, we must thank you very much indeed for coming to share your thoughts with us.
It is my pleasure to be here again. Thank you very much.